I think she was around here with a minute ago, but I'm going to get her back up here in a second. It was just back in June when I was hobbling around a little bit. Where are you, Mitzi? Somewhere here. We had her up with the baby a minute ago. We'll get her back in a minute. But a number of Democrats here got together and had a little benefit for me up in Bastrop, and when we get Mitzi back, I want to return the favor here in a minute. Among those with whom you're going to get a chance to visit this evening, if you haven't already, are our judicial candidates. I spent 6 years of my life on the Texas Supreme Court, and I have looked at what's been happening in the courts in the last few years here in the appellate court level in Texas, and I can tell you that justice is not blind in some of these courts. It's practically an endangered species. We've got some candidates here who have excellent credentials in the judiciary, and we need to carry their form of justice to the state Supreme Court, the State Court of Criminal Appeals, and to the appellate courts. And so I particularly want to honor, and they're all judges, my longtime friend from South Texas, Judge Linda Yanis, Judge Jim Jordan from Dallas, and Judge Sam Houston, who's got a name for justice. And someone you all know who's represented this county ably on the Court of Appeals and is working so hard on it. I believe you were over in Elgin earlier today, Judge Woody Jones. Judge, thank you for what you're doing. And I saw Mitzi come by, and she is up here. So Mitzi, what I wanted to say to you, I always tell people when they say they really appreciate what I'm doing to just go ahead and write their note down, preferably on a check. And so I've done that to say thanks to you tonight. I want to return a little of the money that was raised for me up in Bastrop. So here's my $1,000 for your efforts here tonight. I want you to have to report like you were talking about all day. We appreciate you very much. Thank you. I know you've got other important duties there. And up at the state capitol, the Republicans have bungled just about everything except redistricting. And they did a really good job of trying with that program to protect just as many Republicans as they could. And I believe that there's nothing you can do better to assure that Bastrop County does not get messed around in state legislative redistricting, and that we don't have another Tom DeLay type congressional redistricting. Nothing you can do with your vote that's more important than to elect Donnie Dipple. And he's been out working hard for this. He's somebody who understands rural Texas and understands fair play. You'll have that with you. Thank you. You and Pam, all you're doing. In just 163 days until George Bush is packing his bags and we swear in. We all know that W stands for worst ever, but now after Scott McClellan's come out with his book, we know it also stands for whopper, because we've had one whopper, one lie after another from these folks. I'm sort of with Jon Stewart in saying that, Bush claims he's going to sprint to the finish. Well, I just wish he'd run a little faster. We know that when Barack Obama stands up and takes that oath of office, the entire world is going to see what a change has happened in this country. And I'll be proud of that moment, as I know everyone will here. But I have to tell you that last weekend I was with Donnie in a place that will go unnamed, but not very far from here in a different county. And there are folks there that are good folks, but Barack Obama is just a little more changed than they're quite ready to accept yet. And our job is to work with them and talk to them about the issues. Not just talk to one another, but talk to people that aren't quite there, but ought to be, when they think about their pocketbook, when they think about their children's futures, when they think about their retirement, when they think of the health care that they don't have, when they think of the sacrifices that are being made by our young men and women around the world. And we need to bring them along. We know as Democrats, you don't put a mission accomplished sign up there until the work's done. And we're not going to put a mission accomplished sign up there for Barack Obama until we've counted all those ballots and ensured that Bastrop is a blue county. I'm of the opinion that the first thing we got to do there is to be united together. And we got a good example about that tonight. My good friend Chris Dugan is going to be our next district judge here.
Thank you.
Chris had a tough race against another good friend of mine, Ernie Bogart. And Ernie's been there working hard. I know it was a disappointment to him because he worked just as hard as Chris did on this to come out second. But he's been in there pitching and working hard for our Democratic Party because he's that kind of person. And just as we have had differences within our primary on the presidential level, we got to pull everybody together, because we can't stand for more of the same. For waking up, you know, people talk about what if. We can't what if on the day after the election. What if we're going to have another 4 years of George Bush type Republicanism? Together, we can make the change that we need. I think that Barack Obama, as important as his election is, we can't get the job done up there if we don't have some reinforcements. And the best reinforcement that you can send from this area is to get Larry Joe up there to help us out, because he can get the job done. Thank you. We don't, you know, I think we don't need more McCain, more McSame, or more McCall, do we, Larry? No. And so our plan is to work together with great leaders like you had up here with your precinct chairs, and know that working together on so many issues, we're going to achieve victory in November, have much to celebrate. But it won't just be for our Democratic Party here, for Democrats generally. It will be for an America that again represents the hope of people all over this world as a beacon for freedom, return to our roots of what this country and what we're so proud to be Americans of. We're going to be winning for that and for our world and our country. Thank you very much.
Lloyd Doggett, one more time. Okay. We're going to move on now and Lloyd, thank you for all the good word about the many fine candidates that we've got on this whole ticket. It's important that the Democrats come through on November 1. Now we're going to move on to Larry Joe Dougherty, who is our candidate for U.S. Congress representing Congressional District 10. We need to make that district blue.
And Lloyd, thank you for taking the labor and oar and recognizing all the fine people that have helped put this program together here today and united the Democratic Party. And Congressional District 10 is a special place where we can undo that Tom DeLay, gerrymandered redistricting, theft of votes, stealing of a seat in Congress, and we're not going to have to wait till Donnie Dipple gets in the Texas House and does it for us, but we know he will. We can do it by removing Michael McCall, and we know now that we can do that too. For me, the campaign trail to do that started right in Bastrop County. The very first group that I got to talk to when I went out to see if there were some Democrats that could get together and help me in this effort, we're here in Bastrop. And Mitzi, thank you, thank you, thank you. And Harold Huff is here representing the other end of the district, almost all the way to the bitter end of the whip down in Harris County. He's from Austin County. Harold, thank you also for showing up. And you know, raising the money is one thing, but you really can't win one of these races without some sweat equity. And we got Kay Sweat and Ernie Sweat here with all the equity I need to win this race in Lee County. We're going to get rid of Michael McCall, and today, this campaign trail started for me again in Elgin, Texas, up on the other end of Bastrop County. And Rob Ryland is, raise your hand, step out. Walking in the neighborhood, getting out. We had 20 volunteers in Elgin, Texas, and they were all Democrats. And you know, one of the places that we stopped at was so excited about having an alternative to Michael McCall that this evening, when the auction in downtown Elgin takes place, Larry Joe Dougherty for Congress push cards are going to be taped to the back of every chair. We can do it in Elgin, Texas, and we can do it with raising money, with sweat equity, and with getting out the vote. And that's exactly how we're going to win this race. I want to thank Lloyd again for having taken the labor and oar, because y'all are going to hear a lot of politicians say a lot of things, and brevity is the soul of wit. I just want to tell you that I appreciate everything y'all have done for me, everything that we're going to do together, and that when I'm elected to the United States Congress, we're going to unite Bastrop County with 2 votes that you can be proud of. Thank you very much.